Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. For those of you who I have not met, my name is Fred Ridley, and I have the honor of serving as chairman of Augusta National Golf Club in the Masters Tournament. To my right is Tom Nelson, who will be leading our media committee this week. I'm here today to share some exciting news honoring a wonderful man whose impact at Augusta National and in the game of golf has been pioneering and profound. That man is Mr. Lee Elder. Lee, I'd like to welcome you, and I want to thank you and your wife, Sharon, for joining us on this special occasion. Lee Elder was, of course, the first black man to play in the Masters Tournament. In fact, this year we celebrate the 45th anniversary of this landmark moment. And it comes during a year when racial justice and equality are at the forefront of our national discourse. At age 40, playing in the 39th Masters, Lee delivered a simple but strong message that resonated throughout the world. That message was unequivocal: I belong. The courage and commitment of Lee Elder and other trailblazers like him inspired men and women of color to pursue their rightful opportunity to compete and follow their dreams. But in reality, that opportunity is still elusive for many. We have a long way to go, and we can and we must do more. At Augusta National, we believe in the power of the game of golf to develop leaders, to spark progress, to provide opportunity, and to inspire dreams. Among the ways we exercise this belief is using our resources from the Masters Tournament to support our long-standing, unrestricted annual donation to Paine College, one of America's historically black colleges and universities, located right down the street here in Augusta. We believe the time to do more is now, and Lee has graciously agreed to join our efforts as the namesake of the Lee Elder Scholarship. This scholarship will be awarded annually to a student athlete on the Paine College men's golf team. We also will endow a second scholarship, also in Lee's name, for a student athlete on the Paine College women's golf team. That does raise an issue, as a women's golf team at Paine College currently does not exist. But that will change today with our commitment that Augusta National will provide 100% of the funding needed to launch a women's golf program at Paine College, allowing black men and women the opportunity to pursue their dreams on the golf course, in the classroom, and throughout their lives and careers. This announcement comes after months of planning, and our sincere thanks are in order to the president of Paine College, Dr. Cheryl Evans-Jones, as well as Provost Dr. Curtis Martin, who also joined us here today. Welcome to both of you. We believe this support of the men's and women's golf programs at Paine College is emblematic not only of Lee Elder's love for the game, but also his commitment to academic excellence, community service, and leadership. Lee, the establishment of these scholarships in your name are the result of the example you provided here in 1975 and throughout your career, as well as the inspiration you continue to provide to all of us today. I thank you, sir. Before we conclude, there is one detail regarding next year's Masters I would like to share with you. We have extended a special invitation to Mr. Elder, which he has accepted, to join Jack Nicklaus and Gary Player on the first tee for the honorary start of the 85th Masters Tournament on Thursday, April 8, 2021. Lee, this is an honor for all of us involved with the Masters Tournament and for everyone who loves this great game of golf to commemorate your remarkable legacy in this way. We all look forward to April, when this moment will be celebrated with the cheers and applause of our patrons and millions of golfers and fans everywhere. Congratulations. With that, Tom, I'm ready to take a few questions.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Now, before we begin, I want to mention that after we conclude, Mr. Ridley will join Mr. Elder and Dr. Jones at our first tee for a photo opportunity. That'll be followed by media availability for our distinguished guests, which our media committee will coordinate near the Clubhouse Oak. Now, we're ready for a few questions, and we ask that they're limited to those regarding this announcement.
Thanks, Tom. There is one thing I would like to say before we get started with questions. As most of you probably heard just in the last hour or so, Sergio Garcia tested positive for COVID-19, and as a result, he will not be participating in the Masters tournament. We certainly, our hearts and prayers go out to Sergio and his family, and we will miss him greatly, one of our great former winners here at the Masters. Thanks, Tom.
Great, thank you. Doug?
Just curious if you could share, you know, not to call it a light bulb moment, but what sparked the conversation that led to this?
Well, I think, Doug, like all organizations, we've been moved by the events of 2020. There's been a lot that's been said about racial justice and opportunity, and our question was not so much what we can say, but what can we do? So I guess I would say that this announcement is in part a call to action in that regard. You know, Lee has had a long relationship. We've had a long relationship with Lee, certainly dating back to 1975, but he's been our guest almost every year here at the Masters. And so this really is just a culmination of that great relationship and an opportunity in these times to recognize him for the pioneer that he was, the great citizen that he is, and what he's done for the game of golf, what he's persevered. Lots of lessons to be learned from that, Lee. We thank you. So we hope this is a time for celebration and a time that will be a legacy, create a legacy, and not only for Lee, but for us, that will last forever.
Beth Ann.
Mr. Chairman, there's only one Black player on the LPGA with full-time status. Is it your hope that an investment of this kind will not only change the diversity of the Augusta National Women's Amateur field, but the LPGA too in time?
Well, I certainly hope so. You know, all of our efforts, we like to think, and we do think, are targeted towards expanding the game of golf for everyone. So anything that we or any organization in the game of golf can do to promote diversity, whether it be gender or race, is very, very important. And so, you know, I hope that we can all look back, you know, 5 years from now, 10 years from now at Paine College and see what this has done for their golf teams, and particularly, and you know, I have a great passion for women's golf. And we were so excited to think about the prospect of next April having the Augusta National Women's Amateur back on the calendar and seeing those talented young women come back here. But I certainly hope that's the case.
Dylan.
Yeah, how do you guys see your role as far as making golf look a little bit more like, you know, America and society at large? Do you see that as a responsibility as one of the leaders in the game?
Well, I do, and I hope, I would like to think that while there's a lot more to be done, that our actions to date have supported that belief. You know, we were one of the early supporters, both as an organization and through personally through our chairman, Jack Stevens, in supporting the first tee, which was a wonderful initiative that has touched the lives of many boys and girls throughout the country. You know, since then, and I know we aren't alone. I mean, you know, just about every organization in golf is focusing on this issue, and that really was behind the drive, chip, and putt, the efforts that we're making internationally in Asia and in Latin America, as well as most recently with the Augusta National Women's Amateur. So hopefully more to come on that, but I can assure you it's a definite focus of our organization, and We have a lot of creative people in this organization who have a great passion and who have a great commitment to our community and to the communities around the country that, where golf is played. Part of our mission is, our mission statement involves the responsibility we have to our community. And so our focus primarily is here in Augusta, but certainly I know that'll be replicated by others around the country.
Bob?
Hey, Bob, how you doing?
Hi, two quick things. Was there any thought given to Lee participating this week? And secondly, any idea what you're looking at cost-wise to start this, to have the startup of a women's golf program like that? And when would that begin? Thank you.
Cost-wise, don't know the answer to that. That's really not a consideration. We will fund 100% of whatever that cost is. And when it's going to start, the effort is going to start this afternoon. As it relates to considering Lee's participation this year, I guess I would just say that we thought this would be a much more appropriate and a much greater celebration if we did this in April of next year, when we hope, I emphasize the word hope, that we will have many patrons viewing this along with our viewers around the world. We thought it was the right thing for Lee to have that moment in time that we hope will last forever.
Other questions? Yes, Tara.
You. With this effort, obviously is forward-thinking and is something to be celebrated going forward and should be. I'm just wondering, does it cause you at all to look backwards with any regret? If there was resistance to such things in the past, or even the appearance of resistance on behalf of Augusta National, when it just came to, women's golf, do you look back with any, or do you just look forward at this point?
Well, I'd like to think, I think it's always important to look back. You learn from looking back, you learn from history. We, like all organizations, are acutely aware of our past, and we, like I said, you do learn from looking back. I know anytime, at least in my experience since I've been chairman, anytime we undertake something, and I certainly observed a lot that went on during Billy Payne's chairmanship, but I think we always ask ourselves, when we come up with an idea that we think has merit and we execute on it, we always ask ourselves, why didn't we do it earlier? And I think that's a fair question, and I think it's good to ask that question. But I think all we can do at this point is to look forward and to realize that we have been blessed with tremendous resources to do many things, and we're gonna use those resources in the right way.
Doug?
Clarity, Fred, the tee shot next April, is that just for 2021 or going forward?
It's next April is 2021, correct? Is your question, is this going to be a perpetual thing? We certainly think that that this opportunity for Lee and for us is one that's going to be remembered in perpetuity. And we also know that if we execute right, Lee, that the scholarships are going to be something that's going to last for many, many years. That'll go way beyond when you and I are here. But no, this is a special moment in time.
Any other questions? Yes. Steve?
Yes. Are you satisfied that the push that the club is making here for diversity and inclusion is reflected in the membership here?
I don't think satisfied would be the right word. I mean, I don't think one should ever be satisfied with any objective that you're trying to accomplish, because perfection is never attained. I would say that we do have a diverse membership. That has been an increasing fact over the past few years, and it will continue to be an increasing fact during my chairmanship.
Any more? Christine?
Yes, thank you.
Hi,
Fred.
Christine.
Hi, Fred. Since we are talking about this, I know in the past you haven't wanted to talk, the club in general, and the chairman in particular hasn't wanted to talk about numbers of Black members or numbers of women members. But I'm just curious, since we are having this conversation, would you be willing to share with us now the number of women members and the number of Black members here at the club? Thank you.
Well, you won't be surprised, but that's not one that I'm going to answer, Christine. I think what's important is that that we continue to look at diversity. Always as we look at our membership. While progress can always and should be made, and we do have progress to be made. But I can assure you that is an issue that we're focused on.
Doug.
Sorry to keep interrupting. I'm just curious about your own memories of 1975. You didn't win the amateur till later that summer, but you're fairly entrenched in golf. Do you have any recollections going back 45 years of what it was like to see finally a Black player in the Masters?
I didn't play in 75, but it was a good year, Doug, for Lee and for me. I do vividly remember Lee's presence at the Masters. I wasn't here in person. The following year was my first time here at Augusta National. But of course, who would forget the epic duel or battle, rather, I should say, between Jack Nicklaus and Tom Weiskopf and Johnny Miller, and the way that that sort of culminated on the 16th hole, one of the great moments of this tournament. But I would say that, that the real moment in that tournament was made by the gentleman on the front row here.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you all for being with us. As a reminder, we will be proceeding to the first tee for photos. Afterwards, Mr. Elder and Dr. Jones will be available for interviews near the clubhouse oak. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.